Hi, it's Walter Burns from Keller Williams City Life Realty and livingonthehudson.com. Today I'm going to discuss 1400 Hudson in Hoboken. 1400 Hudson is located at 1400 Hudson Street, and it was built in 2016 and developed by Toll Brothers. It is one of the buildings that Toll Brothers developed in the northeast corner of Hoboken, and I'll show you here on a map. We have Manhattan over here. If we zoom in on Hoboken, you'll see here in the northeast corner of Hoboken, there are several newer buildings that were built in the last 10 to 12 years or so. You have Maxwell Place along the waterfront, the shipyard, and then in this 15th Street corridor area, you have several buildings, Harborside Lofts, 1450 Washington, and here we have 1400 Hudson Street. 1400 Hudson, it takes up almost the entire city block between 14th and 15th Street. If I spin the map around, I will show you the entrance to the building is on Hudson Street. If you live in this building, there's also a shuttle that will take you to the path, peak morning and peak evening rush hour, Monday to Friday, like 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and in the evenings between like 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. That picks up and drops off right over here. So that will take you down to the path. The main entrance is right here. When you walk in the main entrance, there is the lobby. It's a 24-hour concierge attended lobby. There are two elevator banks, one to the left and one to the right. The one on the right side will take you to the tower portion, which is 12 stories. And also, if you live here on the Washington Street side, you could also take the elevator over to that side of the building and walk over. This side of the building is 6 stories. If you live in the Hudson Street side here, this is around 9 stories. They have a separate elevator bank to the left, and that will also get you up to the pool area up here. So from a common amenity perspective, the building has an outdoor pool on the roof, as well as a lounge area here, which is common to the building. There's also another lounge area up here on the roof and another one over here on the roof. So these are all common areas that anybody in the building can access. On the roof, there's also private roof terraces, which you can see here outlined as well as here. So some owners in the building have purchased private roof terraces that have like water and gas line hookups, and they can those are only for their use. They are locked. They have their own keys. But if you live in the building and don't have one of those, you have a lot of common space to use. There's also a courtyard, which is located in the middle of the building. From an amenity perspective, as I mentioned, there's a 24-hour concierge. There's a shuttle to the path. There's also a fitness center. There's a residence lounge here right off the courtyard. That's pretty large. You can reserve it for private events. There's a game area. It's Wi-Fi enabled. You can work out of there. And there's also there's 2 separate rooms that occupy the gym. There's plenty of room for working out. There's free weights, cardio. There's a fitness center. So you have that from an amenity perspective, as well as the courtyard. The building does have parking. There is limited on-site parking in the building. However, majority of the parking, if you have a car, is going to be in this garage here, which is the main garage that services most of these buildings here in the northeast corner. When Toll Brothers developed this building along with these other buildings here in this area, they built a large parking deck that basically services all these buildings. So there's over 700 parking spaces in here, which is one for every property in this northeast corner, which would be Harborside Lofts, the Hudson T building, 1425 Hudson, 1400 Hudson, and 1450 Washington. So there's also hourly parking here if you have friends or family coming over, that they could park by the hour or overnight. So there is another parking option in the area if you can't find street parking. From a commuting perspective, the building has a shuttle to the path. It's also pretty close to the ferry terminal, which is right here, and that will take you over to New York Waterway, and the bus to New York is right on Washington Street here. So you can grab the bus on Washington, and that will take you into the Lincoln Tunnel, which is right over here. So from a commuting perspective, there's many access points into New York. If you don't work in New York, you don't want to go into New York, you can also leave this area rather quickly by going up 495 and being out towards Route 3 if you want to go to the Meadowlands. If If you wanted to go out towards Newark Airport, you would just go down Hoboken and get on Route 78 or take the Pulaski Skyway if you're going to the airport or down the shore. 1400 Hudson, it is a relatively modern building. There's studio layouts, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 2 bedroom plus den, and 3 bedroom layouts in the building. It's also located near many restaurants and shops here in the 14th Street and Washington Street area. I will put a link down below to the page I have set up for 1400 Hudson on my website, livingonthehudson.com, where you can see what's currently available for sale, what is sold. If you're an owner in the building, you can see what your property, request an analysis for what your property is worth. Check out the photo gallery as well as facts about the building. And as I mentioned, see what's available for sale, what's for rent, and what has currently sold. You can also sign up for alerts so you can be notified of future listings. If you have any questions about 1400 Hudson, you can reach me anytime at walter@livingonthehudson.com or at 347-448-3766. Thank you.